It is
It's
over.
on the western side of Massachusetts.
I'm gonna go
Morning,
down
Zach.
to the halls.
It's officially 9:30. Good morning. We'll start our work session. Call this to order, and although not our formal meeting, we still have to call it to order, and our recording is running. So we can hear from anybody during this time and informally discuss things. We just don't act on any business during the work session. Regular session will begin at 10 o'clock, so I think Tracy, right?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, Tracy. Nice
Hi,
to
how are
meet
you?
you.
Nice to meet you as well.
You wanted to talk about the space and what you might be interested in using. And I know
Yes.
you've seen things with Stacy.
Yes,
Okay.
Stacy was great. She and Dean,
Yep.
Dean Wright, took us around to both properties and everything. And for the purposes that we have, we feel that we would like to take a look at the old youth center as a possibility. We do have community support and a plan to actually fix it up. I was actually kind of encouraged when I went through there with Dean, the maintenance man, to find that it wasn't structurally compromised the way I thought it had been. So I was actually very, very pleased about that. And the only thing we wanted to know was, the mechanicals and some of the fixtures, we would like to know if we can change. We're not tearing down any walls, we're not changing the structure on the inside or the outside. We have a plan for what we want it to look like and what we can do with it. And like I said, we have community support, and because you're going to maintain title to it, we're not going to be able to get a mortgage, so we're going to be fundraising. And what we would like to do is we would like to turn it into a community building like this. We want to rename it after a memorial. We would like to call it the Raymond R. Brown Community Care Center, home of the Seneca Community Chaplain Corps. And Mrs. Brown is here. Her husband was Raymond Brown, and we have her permission and her family's help in helping us to fundraise and to do the things that we want to do with the building as well. So we have their support as well. So that's what we would like to do with the building. And again, there are several different things, several different uses that we would like to do. And we would give a detailed plan as to the changes that we want to make. And like I said, we're not moving any walls or anything, so we shouldn't have to worry about architects or engineers at this point. The only other question that we had was about the insurance, how much it is right now currently, based on the use that it was, where you were housing people and children. I don't know who you went through for insurance, or if we need to find that out ourselves. I just need that information. And of course, we understand the utilities. And again, we're not going to be showering 30 kids or open 24 hours a day.
That's good because you saw those showers, right?
Yes. So the utilities will go down, but again, we do have plans to change the heat source. We do know it's all electric at this point, and we're looking at the possibility of, we've actually talked to a contractor who might be willing to put it in for free labor, and we might be able to get that at cost. And we're looking at the possibility of a heat pump. And we're also looking at the possibility of gas, so we have to check into all of that yet. But we do believe that the utilities will lessen over the time with our use versus what it was. And once we change out the heat, we know the electric should be manageable. What we're looking at, if you guys decide that you would give us an opportunity to try to refurbish the building, we were looking at possibility of an August 1st possession. We'll be utilizing the sheriff's office crew, the inmate crew, to come in and actually do some of the demo. We do have some pledges already for flooring and some other things that are being donated as well. So we do have a good handle and an understanding of the issues that are out there and the things that we do need to do, and we believe we've got a realistic, practical plan to be able to come in and again with community support, do the things that we can do, and hopefully make it a better use for the county and for the community. That's kind of where we are. So we're just looking at keeping in touch and letting us know what we might be able to do, or if it's possible for us to be able to do that.
Now, the kitchen, I think that was mentioned the last time, I know you were still gone, is what you saw there,
We're tearing it out.
because I was gonna say, they weren't using the
No.
kitchen. We realized that afterwards, I'm going, they were sort of counter space, but they
Yeah,
were
no.
bringing the food in, they weren't serving, making things there, so.
The plan
Okay.
is to remove all of that, cap
Okay.
off all of the plumbing and the drain and everything there. And if we wanted to put a kitchen in later, we could utilize another space. It would not
Okay,
go
so
there again.
That's not-
That would be transformed into a great room or chapel.
Okay,
for our purposes.
Yeah.
So that space will not be a kitchen ever again under us.
Okay. So you have some more cost to figure, the insurance.
Yes.
Was that with United too?
Yes.
The rest, okay.
Yeah.
So we can get that for you. And then the cost on whatever it is for your hookups and your changes of whatever utilities and that kind of stuff. And I guess if you find those things out and know you want to continue to proceed, I don't know what questions Fred might have, we certainly, like I said, we can certainly continue to discuss and come up with what would be a very fair, rate of some kind. Like I said, our only concern is that it's not costing us any money, I believe, that certainly wouldn't.
We would be, our understanding was, and I wasn't here at the last meeting, one of my representatives was. My understanding is that if there's a possibility that we could get it at no rent, and we would bear the cost of fixing it up, we would be asking for a longer term lease, because we would like to get the use out of the life of the improvements.
Right.
That's what we would be asking for, if that's even a possibility.
Yeah. And the only, I don't know without turning to you, the prosecutor, somebody and asking, there might be a minimal fee we have to do
Sure.
because of it being still our bill. Don't know how that stuff works.
Awesome, Derek.
Yeah, we'll have to find that out, but I would, I mean, whether hypothetically, is it $1 a year? Or what can we do or can't do, that kind of thing. But like I said, we had no intentions for the building. That's why we had cut the utilities and figuring it was going to come down, that somebody wouldn't want to put money into it. But I'm glad you see use for
Yes.
it. If it would fit your needs, I guess I'm pleasantly surprised, because I
It's
just
actually
thought,
very perfect for
Okay.
our needs and the clientele that we serve. So actually, and unfortunately, they're kind of close.
yeah. I was gonna say the proximity probably is a key versus being on the third floor of another building.
Right. We're out of space where we are. We maintain a food pantry and clothing bank and stuff like that too, and we're after hours agency. So if somebody can't get into fish, somebody will call us and we will even
Okay.
deliver food. So, so we're an after hours agency too. So we maintain a food bank for emergency purposes like that too. So,
Yeah. The other one you mentioned, is that the Bellevue one? You said fish?
no, we if they're closed,
Oh.
like when fish isn't open for
Where's Fish at?
food. Isn't there one here in Tiffin somewhere? Not anymore.
I know there's a Fishes and Loaves in Bellevue, that's why I thought maybe that's what you were talking
There's
about.
one here in
Fish
Tiffin.
is the food pantry.
Pantry.
I forget what.
I forget,
it's
yeah,
at.
is it by the United Methodist Church down on one of the, I think it's
I'm
down
not
there.
sure, I'm not
sure
sure
there's
who
one here.
handles
Okay.
it, but
Yeah.
I know it's in town.
Yeah, but they're only open limited hours a month, and so is, and as well as the Salvation Army and the other places. So
Sure.
we're a 24-hour agency. So they can call us and have called us, Job and Family Services or somebody else, and say, look, can we get food to this family, and we'll deliver it. And, so that's something that we continue to maintain.
Yeah.
So it's actually perfect for what we're looking at doing.
Okay.
So,
I would advocate, because of the service that you're in, that, and again, we were gonna tear the building down. I mean, the building was really all but that 11th hour to be torn down, so to
Saved.
establish, whatever the very bare minimum is, if we have to charge anything, if we could do it for nothing, because you're an agency providing services to the residents of Seneca County and so forth. My only caveat with that is a long-term lease I would have some concern with.
Okay.
I would rather look at a year-to-year, and the reason for
Okay.
that is we can evaluate it on a year-to-year to make sure that you're living up to the mission that you've established. So that may be some difficulties for you establish funding, but as long as you continue providing services for the citizens of Seneca County and all of that, then I certainly would continue to vote to renew the lease. But I would look at a year-to-year,
Okay.
and that it would be crystal clear that any expenses, anything, would have to be borne by your group, and there would be no liability, no anything, no expenses from the commissioner's office. As long as those things are perfectly clear, and of course, we'd have to get the prosecutor to make sure that we legally can allow you to use the facility at no cost. Again, I'm just looking at it, we were gonna tear the darn place down anyway, so somebody can get some use out of it, great. But it would be, my vote would be strictly on a year-to-year basis.
that would be fine, as long as on the other side of that, we're not gonna get kicked out once it's improved.
Yeah, no, no,
Like
no, no.
I said, I understand where you're coming from, and
That's where
saying
I'm
you want to,
coming from.
you're going to make some investments in it,
Yeah.
to a building that we were going to tear down.
Yeah.
And I would do want to see you get your value out of
That's all,
out of
that's the
those
only.
improvements
And
as
if-
well.
if
So
we can
I don't know.
strictly put it in there, I
obviously
just
we'll discuss.
want to make sure that the mission continues with, is what it was set up for. and
Yes.
So that the commissioners could at least evaluate the mission. As long as it continues with that, Yeah, absolutely, because again, it was, as far as I'm concerned, it was gonna be tore down, and if there people could get value out of it, absolutely. People that offer services to the citizens of Seneca County, I would be very much in favor of that. So,
We thank you for your time.
Well, thank
Good
you.
deal. Thank you.
for,
Do you have
We're coming
anything
back.
further for me?
I do not. I do not.
no,
that's fine,
As far
that's
as
fine.
insurance and so forth, my recommendation is you find that out.
Okay.
To go for what we had as insurance, no. We just need to
Well,
make
it's,
sure
it
that.
has to
that-
carry on our insurance though, because we still own the building. So she's gonna have to ask.
I think if we
Okay.
change
We
the
just
use.
invoice
I mean, they
for
may,
the-
may be able to, do something, but she just wanted to know approximately what it's
Was it really?
been.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I think
Okay,
once we
'cause-
change the use and we're not housing children, I think that the insurance will probably go down.
Yeah,
a
because
little
it's,
bit.
you're not gonna be residential at all. I mean, no overnight,
Not,
yeah, unless it's a
not as of
occasional.
right now.
And because it remains a
Yeah.
county building,
Yeah.
that the insurance would have to stay under the county. Okay, I didn't realize that, so.
Yeah, which is fine.
That'd be something we would just
What you
influence
get, there would be
you.
a pass,
So that we would have to
change
find
that.
out. I agree with you there.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll check with Jeannie and United Insurance.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
yes, thank you very much. Yeah, if you need to go, that's fine.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
And I'll get in
You
contact
got
with
her
you after I
contact
get the
info.
information.
Great, thank you so much. Well, I'll be available by email. I'll be out of town for like the next 10 days.
Okay.
I'll be available by email and phone.
All right,
Thank you so much.
thank you.
Thank you. All right, we are holding our work session at this point in time, so who else has something for us? Scott, you have something for us?
Jim? Hi.
Come on up.
Thank you. I'm Jim Yoder, WADRW. I represent the Amateur Radio Association, the National Amateur Radio Association, ARRL. I'm actually the technical coordinator for the state of Ohio. With me this morning is Scott Rosenberger, our county emergency coordinator for the Amateur Radio Emergency Service. We'd asked the commissioners to look at a resolution recognizing our activity within the state and Seneca County, and I understand you agreed to do so. We want to show our appreciation for that. Thank you very much for that effort. Some statistics for you. Within the county, there are some 200 licensed radio amateurs who are active. Many of those support our amateur radio emergency service effort in the county. One thing you may not know as well, some 20 of those folks are active employees of public service agencies within the county or volunteers. We're very fortunate to have our sheriff and 3 deputies, licensed amateurs. Obviously, Dan Stahl and Mike Clace out at DMA. There's a whole list of those folks that are out there working to support the amateur radio emergency service, support the county, and anytime we have a disaster or things that would require our help to support communications.
So you work in conjunction with our EMS,
EMS and EMA.
okay,
Yes.
in
Any
conjunction with
public-
them.
Right.
So you're just like an added support to
Yes.
what the
We're
county.
part of a recognized national organization who works nationally with the EMA offices and others around the U.S. and locally especially. We support them. We're part of the operation. When they open up the EOC, they're going to have a drill this week for the Emergency Planning Commission and Homeland Security. We're part of that operations for the EOC. We get called out whenever they would open that up, and we're 2 of the people that would get called initially. This just the same as you folks. We participated in Skywarn. We had a weather briefing last week that Commissioner Stacy was able to be at, and I facilitated that of sorts and got a chance to meet her and chat with her too. So we do a lot of things. We've got 50 or 60 folks that are fairly active. I've got about 7 or 8 officers that work with me to support the things, and we do things for like parades and communications for those, all kinds of things to support the community and the county. And a lot of us just, we've been doing it for a long time. We just enjoy doing it, and we're engaging in an activity this coming weekend where we operate under simulated emergency conditions. We call it Field Day. And that's what we asked for the resolution in conjunction with that. The state recognizes it, and we look for something locally as well. We go out and set up with generators and the tents and run antennas in the trees and those kind of things. We do that at the fairgrounds. It's open to the public, and people can stop out. They can actually get on the air if they want to. We'll have a station for that. we're doing that with the Seneca Radio Club, which has had a long history of working with the county and county service as well. So it's a joint operation with them as well.
We're glad you're here, but we hope we don't have to use you.
It's our pleasure to serve. We enjoy it. There's some perks for us, getting access to some nice equipment. Dan's able to keep that thing up, and it keeps our skills up, and we can provide service in, both ways too.
It's fun, it's an interesting hobby. Ohio is the largest of the ARL sections. You might think California is, they have, I think, 3 separate sections, they're that big, but ours, of all those in the country, is the largest.
And that's based on the number that you have 200 licensed folks, is that?
Approximately.
Yeah.
It varies from time to time, people
Sure.
pass away and one thing or another like that. Some folks let their license expire. But yeah, about 200, and as we mentioned, about 20 of those folks are public service employees and volunteers. So we're very, very fortunate. We certainly appreciate your support. I want to thank you and the staff very much for that this morning.
Glad to help.
And thank you for your service and for what you
Thank
do.
you.
Because as in the other night, I know I didn't get much sleep, I can imagine anybody else did, but it was too close in a sense.
We're awake and listening.
Fortunate we only had what we had, but, in terms of the damage, but, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, if
Thank
you ever
you.
have questions, get hold of one of us. We'll be glad to answer those.
She knows where to find me. I work
Yeah.
for
And
Yeah.
Bill.
Yeah.
I might add that Dan Stahl is probably our largest recruiter. We've held, 3 classes here in the last 6 months and made 20 new hands in the county, so.
Yeah.
And we can do that for you.
That's great, that's great.
So anyway, thank you very much.
Yeah.
We
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
And they had asked for us to pass a proclamation, so I have a proclamation ready. They were nice enough to actually draft one for us. Also said that Governor Kasich has issued a statewide proclamation in support of the radio amateurs for the same period, June 22nd and 23rd. And so I do have a proclamation. I can go ahead and read it
Do we
now.
want to sign that now, so unless you
They
want to
can-
wait for the entire meeting?
We
Probably.
Can we act on it now? We act on it in regular session, and we get to go ahead and sign it?
Well, I can read it now, and,
Okay.
and we can address it in regular
Sure.
session. I have a proclamation, whereas amateur radio operators play a vital role in emergency communication preparedness plan for the United States and state of Ohio and 88 counties within, including many local government agencies. Whereas Seneca County has approximately 200 licensed amateur radio operators, many of whom have provided valuable public assistance through the emergency radio communications on a local, state, national, and international level in times of need. And whereas amateur radio operators donate the time, equipment, and expertise to help provide the public with free emergency communications. Now therefore, we, the Commissioners of Seneca County, Ohio, do hereby recognize June 22nd and 23rd as Amateur Radio Operators Appreciation Days. And we'll sign that and get them a copy of that.
We have to wait to sign that in regular session?
We can approve it in regular session, but you can sign it.
Okay. I'd say that, ask these gentlemen to wait here for the next
Right?
half hour, 45 minutes, just wait for us to sign something.
Does Dan want to add anything? You don't know what they said about you, but it was all good.
With these guys, I don't know.
They appreciate the equipment stuff that you take care of, so.
Well, yeah, and I appreciate all the efforts that the amateur radio group puts in towards the emergency communications for the county. They're gonna be our salvation on the big one. We have communication problems and stuff like that. We all work really hard to make all that work and have a lot of fun in the meantime, too.
I dare say Seneca County is probably better prepared than many of the counties in Ohio. Many of the counties don't have the support that we enjoy here and the expertise and skill that Dan brings to the table. It's a definite asset.
We're the envy of many counties. They come in and see the operations center and see the number of people that we have actively involved and the support we get from the county government and Dan especially. It's phenomenal. We have meetings with some regular ones on a monthly basis, and we just tell them about all the stuff that's going on here, and you just
Yeah.
don't hear that anywhere else.
Yeah.
It's been great. So thank you.
For a county of our size to train and license 20 new amateurs in 6 months, that's amazing.
Yeah.
this guy's our best recruiter.
Arm twisting, I guess.
That's the only
It
one
must
thing
be.
that he does on a daily basis. You do have a shining star, Dan, so.
We know that.
You gonna pay him now?
I'm
or-
glad.
I'll slip him a 20 outside.
Yeah.
Where we going for lunch?
Thank you very much for your time.
Good deal. Thank you
And
guys.
thank you.
As I said,
Thank you all for your
you're,
service.
you're the best kept secret in town, and we're glad you're there, but we don't ever want to use you.
We feel the same.
Stay right.
Thank you.
Thanks. All right.
I almost missed it.
I got here just
I thought this
in
was
time.
at 10.
Your regular session's at 10, so yeah.
Yeah, yep.
See ya.
Thanks, Dan.
Thanks. Good, thanks. Do we have anything else for open session? Anybody wants? If not, we'll kind of recess for 10 minutes here. Yeah, exactly. Before we go into regular session, because we have to wait until 10 o'clock to do that. Nothing else? Okay. We'll just kind of, unless somebody walks in, we'll just kind of recess and then we'll call the regular meeting to order at 10.